Hello, guys. It's Hammad from MMA Diagnosis, and today we have a very special guest. He's a professional mixed martial artist competing currently in one championship. Mr. Furqan the Lion Cheema. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, Hammad. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. I'm good. So, obviously, we've done like a little interview before on
Yep.
Instagram, things like that. But how have you been? How's everything going right now? How's training going?
Alhamdulillah, all good. Everything's going well. Training's going well. Just keeping active, keeping busy. Then we've got Ramadan coming up across. Inshallah, after Ramadan, then we can start hopefully getting some plans for fights because I think we got some good news in regards to the UK situation. So I'm hoping, around June time we can kind of like get things back to rolling paces and we can get back into fighting again.
Okay, speaking about Ramadan. Um, I don't know if you know this, but another fighter in the UFC, Palestinian fighter, Bilal Muhammad, he actually does a training camp in Ramadan. So I don't know how he balances that. But you're obviously professional fighter yourself. You're Muslim. How do you balance training in Ramadan? Do you take time off, or do you actually be training quite intensely? Or
Uh, I actually discussed this with my coaches, so I will be training in Ramadan. As you know, it's been like more one-to-one kind of basis training, anyways, at the moment. So we will be doing it, but we're kind of gonna meet the time frame. So possibly before, iftar, probably get it done before iftar, and then probably do a bit of cardio work just before seri. So I'm gonna try keeping active, and then probably towards like the midday, just kind of like get on with like just stretching, just really light drills, but keep it very just keep active but just keep it very minimum. Don't obviously try killing the body because the main thing is we want to focus on Ramadan, but also obviously I am going to keep active with training but just keep it at a nice balance.
yeah, I think that's what a lot of people don't get, like how difficult it is as well. Because obviously,
Yeah.
people think it's just a water fast where we drink water and that would make it really easy, but
It
we
would,
don't,
yeah.
it's dry fasting essentially, so we're not drinking any water, any consuming any food. But yeah, I think that's interesting. Like you're still going to be doing your training because
Yeah, definitely.
I believe even like Khabib, or I think he takes time off as well, like with in Ramadan, just to focus
Y-
on.
Yeah, definitely. The aim is going to be to focus on Ramadan, and purely that's what we're going to focus on. But obviously, I'm going to keep active just because, I just get a good feeling now. Obviously, with the situation in UK, hopefully, I'll be getting a call up. I think my time's coming very close now. So I think Ramadan, I'm going to keep active, but my main aim in Ramadan is going to be is just cleanse the body, and just eat well and bring that weight down. And then hopefully after Ramadan, we can just, start training. We'll be at a good weight and just hopefully look ahead and hopefully get a fight coming on.
Yeah, talking about that, so prepping for a fight. Obviously, your last opponent, Rahul Raju, he fought with a man named Ahmed Mustafa,
Yeah.
Pakistan. We got Ahmed Mustafa knocked him out, first round, solid win. Is that one of them kind of, you see that you know your potential, right? And obviously you've been training hard. You're looking in like tremendous shape since the last time, you've competed. Is that a rematch that interests you?
If it comes, it comes. Like I says, I'm not going to chase for the rematch. It'll be good to get the rematch just because obviously last time I wasn't prepared and I kind of want to see how I do against Rahul when I'm prepared. But, like I says, Ahmed won. Ahmed did really well. A fantastic punch, great punch it was. And I think with Raul's situation at the moment, I think I don't really want to be disrespectful towards him. I think he's it was a knockout that obviously that loss he had was a knockout. And I think I don't want to be disrespectful towards him. I think it's best for him to just kind of like decide what's going to happen for him next. And like I said, if it does come in the future, I'll be up for it, but I'm not gonna chase it. Like I said, we've all got our own ambitions, our own goals, and it would be nice to have the rematch. But for myself, I kind of just whoever they bring, I'll fight, and I'm just gonna focus on my journey and focus on myself, and try making myself better.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best approach. And I think the good thing is like unlike other organizations like the UFC and things like that, where
Yeah,
fighters feel the need, they need to, trash talk and make a name of themselves just to get heard. In
oh,
one
yeah,
championship, it's about martial arts honor,
yeah,
like that. So having that approach is perfectly normal in that organization. Maybe that's why guys like Demetrius Johnson and things have excelled in that organization and they're getting the respect they deserve. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, like one championship now, signing with them, big deal. Do you feel like that added pressure now? You know what? The first fight's gone. I'm comfortable now there. I'm comfortable having that kind of reputation now.
Yeah, you know what it is? I'm like, with opponent wise, I know this is big competition in one championship, and like some of them names, I'm like, wow, because I admired a lot of these fighters. There's some really good fighters that even I'm a fan of. But for myself, it's going to be just about my journey, training the best I can to learn the best I can, and whatever happens, happens. But like I said, I want to give my 100%. Like, unfortunately, like my last fight, I didn't give my 100%. Obviously, I wasn't prepared or anything like that, and I felt as if I didn't get to show what I'm capable of. And I feel as if I've got a lot of things behind me that I can show, and I feel as if I've got a lot of skill set that I can bring out there. So for myself, it's more focus on my own journey. Whichever fight they offer me, I'll take the fight and just focus on that and build from there. I know it's not going to be an easy journey, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I think especially with Pakistani MMA, with the Pakistan MMA, I feel as if it's going on an up, it's going on a rise. There's some really, really good fighters coming through, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for the future. I think it's going to be some good times ahead for us.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, I feel like Ahmed's knockout, and then obviously we've got Alumi Kareem fighting soon
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
I believe they're doing a lot of Pakistan versus India matches, but I
yeah.
think it's still a good thing. Like there's momentum now, right, for the Pakistani fighters, whether they be from the British Pakistani side or and from
Yeah.
back in Pakistan. Do
With
you,
the whole like Pakistani situation, like with the Pakistan versus India, me
yeah,
personally, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. You know what it is? It's just because look, I'll give you example. For example, um, like Ahmed Marshall did beautiful. And
yeah,
he's a good fighter. For me, Ahmed is like one of the top Pakistani fighters. So he's a really, really good fighter, and I've got a lot of respect for him, and I admire his fighting style. But then I looked on the other hand towards Rahul, and like I just briefly browsed through Rahul's profile. When obviously he took this loss, and I read some of the comments, and I was like,
yeah,
I was really disappointed because there was a lot of hatred involved, and a lot of people were being very disrespectful towards him. And
yeah,
me personally, I don't believe that. Look, India Pakistan is good for competition. It is.
yeah.
Like it's rival. It's like a derby match. It's really good competition, but I don't believe in this hatred. I think, like end of the day, you know, we should conduct ourselves in a good, positive manner, and especially represent our countries in a good manner. And I think that you only get a few that are really, really that have got a lot of hatred, and they can say some nasty things, and it's really sad to see that. But this is why I don't really believe in this Pakistan versus India fights, because I do feel as if it can create a lot of hatred on that small sector of people. I think it does create a lot of issues, and sometimes I think it's best to steer away from there and just kind of move away from that situation. Yeah, it's good competition, but you get that few, them few people that are really, really, and they don't really promote. It's not a good image to promote. So,
Yeah.
like I said, competition's good, but I just feel sometimes, like the Pakistan India fight can go towards a different kind of like route, and there's a lot of hatred involved towards it. And I don't personally believe in that. I think, we should really, respect all, especially like, for example, Rahul, like he is, from my opinion, he's a very respectful person. Like I said, when I fought him, I got to speak to him after the fight, and very respectful. And it was quite sad to see, some of them really bad comments towards him because, he's a sportsman in the day. We can't, like the nationalities that we come from, etc. And the day, the religions that we come from, or whatever. And the day, we represent that, but we have that minority that take that to another level and build a lot of hatred towards it, which obviously I don't agree myself.
Yeah, I think that's that's the problem with like social media and the internet. Like everyone can say anything, and then
Yeah,
like you said, Rahul Raju. Like I've seen his social media. He's like very respectful guy.
yeah, he is. Yeah,
Like he didn't
yeah,
make it into like a big thing, like in the sense of the nationality, was just the fight.
yeah,
And going from there, like um, that kind of it's because of like cricket and big rivalry. I guess it's easier to promote, right,
yeah, yeah.
for fighters, because a lot of
Oh,
fight.
the competition's brilliant. You know, like I said, the Pakistan
Yeah,
India fight, it's like it is a big hype, and like I said, it's like a derby match. It's like from the Yorkshire side, like you look at Leeds versus Man United. We've got that little rivalry, with Leeds United and Manchester United. And that side of it, like the competition is great. But like again, it's like so far you can see with the Premier League, it's Man United with Liverpool. You can see sometimes you've seen comments from Man United fans, and then you see Liverpool. They're always saying things to each other. It's that competition that's good, but I just feel as if like with the Pakistan India, you know, I'd- yeah, it's good to have that competition. Like I said, the cricket's amazing when you watch the cricket games, and obviously with the MMA side, it's brilliant. But I think sometimes it can create a bit too much as well. I think sometimes it can go towards that negative line. Look, it's sports. Let's have that competition. Let's have fun. Let's watch. Let's support our fighters. Let's represent our countries. But keep it to that point. Be respectful towards your fighters. Be respectful. Don't come to a point where you're seeing some nasty things, and like I said, I read some of them comments, and I was quite embarrassed because there were some nasty comments. And I don't think end of the day we win and lose, and that's the sport that we're in. It's gonna happen, and sometimes people can have bad days, in a fight. Sometimes they can have good days. Sometimes luck can be on your side. Sometimes luck can't be on your side. But it is what it is. It's a fight, and anything can happen. And I think sometimes you should respect, you should respect the people competing, and just show that respect to them and give them that support, win or lose.
yeah. I mean, moving from that, the rivalry and aspects like that. One championship lightweight division. What's your take on the division, like competition wise? Like, how do you see it? Like, from the
Yeah.
top guys, what's your opinion on that? Like, what? Like, how many fights do you see yourself? What, I'm going to be fighting for the belt. What's your kind of plan in that sense?
For me, it's more settling into one championship. I think, like with my last fight, the experience was amazing. And in a way, you know what? I find it like a blessing because like everything was against me. Everything was against me. And, like for me to just overcome that and go through that situation was it was perfect. Like I'm happy that I went through all that situation just because I got to experience it and I got to experience everything at the worst. And now, from my point of view, now I've come to a point where now I'm preparing. I'm ready for obviously whichever bout come ahead, and I'm excited because I've experienced the whole crowd atmosphere, the whole weight cut, the whole everything I've experienced. At the worst, everything were kind of last minute, and now obviously I'll have preparation so I can look forward to it. And I can be excited, and I can, just focus on my opponent and train for, whoever I fight against, train for, what they're strong at and what they're weak at, and kind of work towards that. I can have a plan. So I'm excited. And in regards to the lightweight division, it is a very, very tough division. I think after few fights, that's it. You're going to be up against the big names, and it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it because I think, like with the lightweight division, it is quite an exciting division, and you can see, like even from my side, like there's a few fighters who are newcomers, and a few fighters that are kind of like coming off the losses. It's going to be exciting. I think there's a few opponents there that I think I would love to have a fight with and just kind of see how I get on with them. But then also, there's some big names there, like ahead of us that, if we ever get the opportunity to fight them, it's going to be amazing. Like for example, in the lightweight division, you've got Eddie Alvarez, you've got all these big names, up there. So just imagine fighting one of them guys. It'll be insane. So, like I said, I think with one championship, my journey is more or less take every fight as it is and work on every fight. Inshallah, get the win of every fight and just keep learning, keep developing, keep getting stronger, and hopefully, inshallah, once we've got that first win, we can kind of like look ahead and see what happens from there.
Yeah, I think it would be fun because I don't know if you heard the lightweight champion. I believe is Christian Lee. Is it
Yeah, yeah,
Christian Lee? So he said he's better than Habib. So what's your thoughts
Yeah.
on that?
Nah, you know, Khabib's a different level. Khabib's a different level. I wouldn't go down them lines. I think Khabib's just, yeah, I wouldn't compare
Like
anyone to
that's
Khabib.
thing, like them kind of comments, does it?
I think it creates a hype, really, but realistically, nah, you know, Khabib's just a man of his own, and I think like you look at greatness, and you know, you look at in the boxing world, you know, you had the Muhammad Ali's and you know the Mike Tysons, and I think Khabib's in his own either of you know in the
Yeah.
UFC and the MMA. So I think you know in the MMA circuit, Khabib's like the number one,
Yeah,
definitely
I
in my
spoke
eyes.
with Ammar Akbar about that. Like, um,
Yeah,
we'll get to him a bit later, but
yeah, yeah,
Habib, like, I said to him as well that like Habib made like being a Muslim MMA fighter a lot easier, like more respected, like especially within
100%.
the Asian communities. I feel like now that if you say you're MMA fight, it's like whoa, like Habib, and like people are more like if you told just say your elders or like people within the community, oh, I'm gonna be an MMA fighter like 5 to 10 years ago, even they'll think you're freaking crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
But I feel like now, if you say it, it's like a cool thing now. Like it's out of the box. It's cool. Like it's seen as like wow, like this guy's a MMA fighter. This guy's a thing. I think
yeah.
boxing was a bit more accepted. But are you seeing that? Because like obviously, you you've competed like for the last what 7 years, 7 8 years.
Yeah,
Have you seen that kind of growth over the last few years?
100%. Like I said, I had my debut around, I would think, at the age of 2021, and there wasn't many MMA, like Asian MMA fighters. Wasn't many. There were very, very like couple. There wasn't many. Trust me. Like you know, like now it's mad. You know, like you can just name so many fighters. You know, on top of your hands, you can just name so many. On top of your fingers, you can just name so many fighters. But that time there wasn't that many. So I think the sport itself has grown, and I think the example that Khabib has shown is fantastic because he's really represented himself and also his religion, and is promoted so much goodness because you know obviously as you know like especially out there with you know obviously the media and you know a certain amount of people, there is a lot of negativity towards Islam, and I think Khabib you know has given a true reflection of Islam and the way he's conducted himself as a Muslim. You know, he's shown so many good qualities and so much that what our religion is based on. So I think you know he's really done brilliant. Like I said, he's done fantastic in MMA, but also as a person, he's really shown the true reflection of Islam and being a Muslim. So you know, yeah, it's brilliant. You know, like says, you know, anyone now, you go to anyone and you can say Khabib's fighting. Like I tell you what, like if I mention Khabib's fighting, I guarantee you, like my mum knows who Khabib is, my grandma knows who Khabib is. So you know they've, you know he's out there. You know he's definitely is a household name, and you know he's done brilliant. You know he's really done brilliant, and I think you know what he's brought into the game and what he's shown. He's shown so much quality, and there's a lot of people that want to follow him now. You know, there's a lot of people that want to conduct themselves like him. So, you know, he's created a good image, and that's how it should be. You know, create a good image.
Yeah, I think it's quite refreshing to see that like people are starting to express their faith like
Yeah,
without the need to feel ashamed or anything. Because
of
I feel
course.
like before he came, like there had been a few Muslim but like athletes like per se, but they never like kind of they would keep it very private before. I
Yeah,
don't.
and you know, look, also, Hammad, like for example, like you know, say for example, you are a big superstar. Now, you know, if you're promoting negativity and you're promoting hatred and you're promoting things that you shouldn't really be promoting, you look at the kids that are going to be following you. You look at the generations that are going to be following you. You know they're going to be looking up to you, and if you're promoting that, they want to be like that. You know they want to, you know, especially if you're such a, say for example, a good fighter, a good singer or whatever, and or a good footballer, and you're promoting not so good things, and you're promoting hatred and you're promoting so and so, them young generations that are looking up to you will like to be like you because you're their role model, and they'll just keep wanting to follow you, and they'll be just wanting to be like you. An example I can give, like rap music, for example. Again,
Okay,
you know, we're going to be off topic.
before
Yeah,
we get into that, you made a post that you
yeah.
made a TikTok. I'll let
I,
you
I made it. I
made
made it.
made a
Yeah.
post. on Facebook that you ate a chip shop and some guy was talking about the amount he was selling with drugs, things like that. What advice would you give to people that, for like our community especially, that are involved with these things? What advice would you give to take a more positive kind of direction?
You
So
know, it's
to finish, if you could just explain the story to the listeners that what you said. Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like says, you get that a lot, to be honest with you. Like, in our communities and stuff like that. And sometimes I don't really like to post certain things like that on, like social media. But then sometimes I like to try promoting it things, and especially within my own community as well, and because it within my own community. So sometimes, you get, numpties, and you get people that want to be something that they're not, and there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of bad things that are happening out there, and not everyone's perfect, but sometimes I think you have to, especially I with myself being in the sport, obviously I'm not a worldwide name or a household name or anything like that, but within my community, I represent my community, and obviously if you come into my community, there's a lot of people that know me and, kind of like follow, like my journey, and give me support towards my journey. And for myself, I try to aim to like conduct, myself in a good way and a positive mind. So if there's something that I can give positive, and if I can kind of promote myself positively, and if there's something that I feel as if I need to kind of get off my chest and say it in a positive manner, I'll do that. And like with that post, that post that I put on, it was more obviously I seen something, and within my community, and I just thought, it's a little bit. It is quite a common thing, nowadays. You see a lot of, people in the streets, kind of like, wanting to be someone that they know or trying to promote themselves in a way. And I felt as if, like I had to kind of put something like that on the social media, but I did it because, I'm just trying to promote something, trying to promote something positive. So something that negative that I experienced, but trying to promote it in a positive message. So sometimes you have to do certain things like that. And like with myself, I always want to like try my best to promote, positive messages, like I'm there, but
Yeah. Carrying on from that, uh, I was watching. I don't know if you watched the UFC over the last weekend. Uh, there was a fight, Pedro Munoz versus Jimmy Rivera. I don't know if you watched it. It was on yesterday, and
yeah,
the significant like technique was the calf kick. Now your strength and conditioning coach, head strength and conditioning, he made a post about the calf kick and how to, strengthen
yeah.
certain muscles. Do you feel like that kick, like, so basically Pedro Munoz, because he haven't watched the fight, he just kicked the leg off. So he hit the calf kick, kicked his leg off. Do you feel like that kick, because like you see guys that get kicked once or twice and the fight's basically done and dusted. Like we saw it with Conor McGregor versus Justin Poirier. Do you feel like that kind of technique should be banned? Because I was reading a post about that. They were saying like maybe it should be banned within the commentary as well. Do you feel like these kind of techniques should be banned? Because you get kicked once and it's very hard to defend. Like,
Yeah, I don't know, like that's for them to decide really, like for the commissions and stuff, for them to decide and for them to kind of like go down that route. But for a fighter's perspective, if we can kind of land that kick and we can get the win out of it, why not?
a bit like a
But
short one.
yeah, not really, because like I says, it's just same as like you getting that one knockout punch, it can be a lucky punch and you've connected someone and you knock them out. End of the day, you've done the job, you've got the W, that's what matters. So like says, if it's something that's, it doesn't get approved or it's something that's gonna, get scrapped, then fair dues. But at the moment, if it's working, then go ahead and do it. If it gets you the win, get the win. It don't matter. As long as you get that win, that's what matters. So anything you can do possible, as long as it's legal and it's within the rules, go ahead and go do it. Go for it.
Yeah, because when I watched that fight, I was like, this guy is just kicking the crap out of that calf, and Jimmy Rivera was like flying everywhere, and then it's like, is that something you're looking to implement in your current fight?
I don't know. Like whatever I learn, and like with me now, I do a lot of drills now, and I just constantly drill. And once I get it, then we'll build onto it. So for myself, it's like I just do drills, and if I connect with something, then I'm gonna just focus on that and just build on that and just keep adapting to it and building and building and building, and that's how it's like. There's certain things that don't work for me. There's things that I've tried and I think, oh nah, this ain't for me. I'm not feeling this. I can't do it.
I think it's just.
I've
I think,
tried it
I
and it don't work for me, but then there's certain things that do work for me, and I just build onto it.
I think it just depends on your like frame, your body, the way you move, things like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think everything's it's one of the things where everyone's body is different, and there's going to be certain things that's going to work for us, and there's certain things that are not going to work for us, and we just focus on that.
uh, yeah. So moving from that now, you spoke
Yeah,
about obviously before we discussed it. You spoke about obviously being a positive role model in community, things like that. You go. I read something. You said that you didn't take your career as serious as now, right? When did that switch happen? Like, when did you just went, and then it was just like, I gotta switch. I gotta, you know, train like an athlete per se.
you know what it is? It's like with me, I've had ups and downs, and there's been times where I've been focused, and there's been times that I've not been focused, and that's how it's been for many years, to be honest with you. And then it came to a point where I just completely lost interest towards competing, competition, going to the gym and stuff like that. And again, mainly due to myself, but it was just one of them downtimes for myself. And unfortunately, obviously, I just lost interest. And then I remember one day just getting a random message of who my manager is now, Rizwan, and he contacted me, and he just says to me, "So look, you know what's happened to you? Like, what's happened to your training? Where you've gone? What you're doing?" And I'm like, "No, I don't train anymore. I've no interest towards it. I just wasn't in a good place, and it just wasn't for me." And like he just gave me some, we had a good chat, and he gave me some positive words, and he just told me, he says, "Look, you know what? You're just gonna regret it one day. You're gonna look back, and you're just gonna regret it." He says, "Get back into it. Get back into training. I'll manage you, and we'll get you going again." And I thought about it, and then slowly I started going back to the gym. And then when I started going to the gym, it was still a little bit difficult for me because like I wasn't fully myself, and it was really difficult because obviously I've had 2 years out. And then we decided to get new motivation, so we decided to go for the professional journey. And then when I went for the professional journey again, the aim was to kind of take it easy, just get them few fights, kind of build myself, kind of get into it. And again, man, it was hard, like I just didn't feel the same. And then now I've come to that stage where after 4 fights, now I feel like, yeah, now I feel like good. I just feel like as if my body's back to where it used to be. I feel unbelievable now. Like, physically I feel really strong, and physically I feel good. And I'm excited now. I just feel like I'm a different person. So I think, that break did help me. I am a little bit gutted that, I had such a long break, and, I've had like, if you look at my journey, I've had a lot of like, time out, a year out, blah blah blah. This my journey's been like up and down, and alhamdulillah, like I'm at a big stage now, and I've got the opportunity to give it my all. And you never know, this can change everything for myself, and that's what I'm excited about. Like I want to give it my 100%, and I feel as if I've been given this chance to really just give it my best. And to be at this stage, to be on one championship's amazing. It's just a blessing, and I'm gonna give it my 100%. That's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I do have regrets that I've had time out and things haven't, gone the way they have. But like I says, it's everything's meant to be, and I think this time now it's planned for me, and now inshallah everything's gonna go the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, like you're training like crazy now. Like what, 6 days a
I
week?
love it, man. Yeah, I just love training. Like before, like I just never, it's everything. Like one thing I can give like a message towards the younger generation, and obviously I'm not saying I'm old or anything like that, but it's showing your
You
internet
back on now?
connection is stable. Is it back on?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you were
Yeah.
saying like
Yeah.
best you could give the younger generation is
Yeah. So like my message generation, the up and coming guys, I think a lot of friends around yourself, have a good circle of people around yourself. Always stay positive, have a good selection of coaches around yourself, have positive people around you, and just grind and push because I'm going to give an example for myself. Like with myself, I've had ups and downs, and it's always been because I've had doubters, I've had criticizers, I've had people that have not been in a good circle. There's always been ups and downs with myself, and I think now, like, I've come to a point where, alhamdulillah, like, now I've got all good people around me. I've got positive people around me. I've got people that want me to really work, the people that want me to do well, and everything's on a good direction. And even with myself now, I love training. I love working out. I love, learning. I love adapting to things. I've got that hunger where before there were times where I'll win a fight, I'll have a break, I'll win a fight, I'll hang about with friends, I'll win. It wasn't something I
Mhm.
took seriously. It was kind of like something like, oh yeah, I'm just local MMA fight or whatever, and kind of like lived on that. And I never really got to work on my potential. I never got to really come to that point where I excelled. I kind of like, I won a fight, I had a break, I had a couple of fights, then I had a break again, and like, it wasn't something that I kind of continuously continued, and I didn't really give my 100% in training. Sometimes I'll go training, sometimes I'll miss it, sometimes I'll do. It wasn't 100%. Where now, I'm a different person, and like I says, it's a blessing, the position that I'm in now to really go give it my all. And, like I said, I'm training giving it my all, and whatever happens, happens. But at least now I can look back and say, I gave it my 100%. So, yeah, inshallah, whatever's meant to be will happen. But hopefully it'll be a good journey.
Yeah, I mean, the one of them things like you're actually putting the habits in now that to be a pro athlete instead of, oh, I'm this name, I'm that name. I was reading a book, it's called Atomic Habits, Habits Over Goals. So like,
Yeah,
what habits are going to reach you to your goal? So like, you're a professional athlete, you want to be a champion. What habits are you doing? Are you training 6 days a week? Or you think that's what's going to get you there? So instead of thinking of being a champion, which puts a lot of pressure and strain under you, just think, I got to do these 6 days a week, and eventually I'll get there anyways. So it's actually sometimes just a little
yeah,
in the mind. Like for you, that's what I kind of saw. Like when you made that post, like it was just a shift. Like, you know what, I've gone from an amateur now to a professional, like in the mindset as well. Because the
yeah,
amateurs only get. I read this quote, like it's really profound, but amateurs um, only turn up when they're motivated, but professionals turn up every day, no matter
yeah,
what, no matter how bad you're feeling, no matter how low or things. It's something still I'm working on, but I feel like you know what, like you're a great example of it because you come to a point where you just switch the mindset, and now you're like every time I see a video of you, you're just training, doing the strength and
yeah.
conditioning, doing the pad work. What area would you say you've improved the most in terms of this, like in terms of your attributes in the sense of striking, jiu-jitsu, wrestling.
I feel all round I've started working. I've started seeing progression in a lot of things. I feel all round now. My game's starting to come to a point where everything's starting to adapt together. Like I said before, I used to throw punches, but I couldn't throw kicks. And now I can start. Now I can start putting combos together with kicks, and then again with my jiu-jitsu, I've kind of like broken down a lot of things now. Like there were certain things that I used to struggle with, where now, there's things that I can't. I don't struggle much with. Like I says, it's a game where with mixed martial arts, you're gonna keep learning, and there's always gonna be time of of improvement, and there's still a lot of things that I want to achieve. There's still so many things that I want to work on and get better on, but so far, the things that I have been doing, I've been on a good direction, and I feel we have been working towards a progression. I'm not the person that I was a year and a half ago, 2 years, whatever, before. I feel like now, since my last fight, I'm a totally different person, different mentality. Uh, I just everything's different. I feel as if, skill set wise, I've improved so much. There's so much things that I need to, work towards still, but there's a lot of progression now. So I know there's been a big change, and even my attitude. My attitude is different. I just like training. I like to be at the gym. I like to learn. I like to go home, watch YouTube videos, kind of like work on drills, work on things, and my mind's a bit more different, and I enjoy it. You see, that's the main thing. Where before it wasn't like it was just I regret it. Don't get me wrong. There's times where I look back and I wish like I wish I can turn around and change so many things that I've done in the past, but like I says, you have to look ahead now. You have to look at your present and you have to look ahead for your future, and that's what I'm doing now. Where before, obviously, I just feel as if like I have got regrets where I've had a lot of time out, a lot of things that I could have done, opportunities that I've missed. But now I think, you know what, I've been given an opportunity. Just take it with both hands and give it the best shot you've got. So, like I said, I've got plenty of years left in me yet, so I shouldn't be complaining. But I just, yeah. But obviously, I just,
You're 30 now. You're going into your prime, right?
yeah,
Physically
definitely.
and mentally. How many years do you see yourself doing this, like the mixed martial arts? Because obviously, I know you have kids and things like that. So, like a family. So, is that always in the back of your mind? Like, is there a certain time frame you're giving yourself, or is it just?
Yeah, definitely. So with myself, like, depending on how successful or how what stage I get to, and like if I do well and go on, I feel as if like at the moment I think I can give a good 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, definitely. I think so I want to give another 10 years, and then if it comes to a point where I'll see how it goes from them 10 years, inshallah. And then after that, if I can give another maybe two, so 12 years, 12 to 13 years, maybe. But to be realistic, yeah, 10 years. I think 10 years will be good because in MMA, that's, I think at the moment now, it's going to come to my peak age. And then I've still got years of, peaking and, like coming to my tip top. And then hopefully see how we get on from there. But yeah, 10 years is my goal. And then if I can squeeze another couple of years, I'll be happy with that. But inshallah, by then, I'll have the experience. I'll be at a stage where I can hopefully teach and coach. And that'll be my next stage, inshallah. That's what I like to get into.
Yeah, I mean, because I know you do the Sunday thing with the. Is it Sunday you do with the kids? So,
Yeah, I do.
is coaching something like definitely you're gonna get into then? So straight.
Yeah, 100%. So that's something I enjoy. And it's the satisfaction. Like, I do a Sunday, and honestly, like, the amount of people I get like asking me for more sessions and the amount of progression I see, it's made me realize that like I am quite good at teaching, I am quite good at coaching. Even like there's so many ways to be a coach, and I feel as if I've got a lot of positive areas that I can like influence on people. So like I said, for me, that Sunday is just more building that experience, that coaching skill. But like I said, I've got so many years yet. I've got my goal yet. I want to do the best I can, and I feel as if I've got a lot to show and a lot to prove, and that's what I want to do first. And then in the future, hopefully with the fight experience and my learning experience, you know, 10 to 12 years, probably 12 years, I can start coaching. Maybe the 10th year, I can just gradually start coaching, and then once I've called it a day, we can get into full coaching. But you don't know because it's crazy, man. You see at one championship, like I was being seeing, there's guys who are like 45, and they look the beast. They're just going so strong. So you don't know what anything's possible. And like I says, I've got plenty of years, and like I said, this is now my peak time. So I just want to grasp it and give it the best I can.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be ending up like Bob Sapp. Bob Sapp is.
Yeah. I
I
know
mean,
about
just
some.
throwing
Yeah,
fights. You're just throwing
yeah,
fights in his way. Yeah, but
yeah.
I think it's
No.
good that you've already got like an idea in your head because a lot of fighters actually don't, right? They just do fighting and then there's no other plans on the after career wise, post career because it is a short career in the sense of like, you
It
know,
is, but you know what it is? It's like now I feel quite pretty comfortable because I'm at that stage where I wanted to be. Like when I was younger, and I remember when I was an amateur, there were a lot of things that I wanted to do, and I wanted to go into the IMF. That was something I wanted to go on. Unfortunately, like when I signed with HD Management at that time, Carl Messon, who was my manager, that was our goal to go on IMF, and I believe I would have done it, but unfortunately, it never happened just because I kind of blew it away. And so that was something I really wanted to do. And there's been times where I have a lot of regrets, but now I look at it of the blessing. I think I look at the stage I'm on now. So there's a reason this has come, and there's a reason why I've been given this opportunity, and now I need to give it my 100% because this stage it takes many years to get to. And like with myself, obviously, I feel as if it's pot luck for me. It's something that just popped up, and maybe there's a reason for it. And I feel as if now it's time for me to really give it my 100%, regardless of the outcome. As long as I can give my 100% in everything, then I'll be happy with that. And whatever the results is, it is what it is. But I feel as if this has been given me for a reason, and I feel as if I need to grasp it and give it my 100%, because I don't want to look back at this opportunity and say one day I didn't give it my 100%. I want to look at this opportunity and say, you know what, I gave it my 100%, and whatever happens, happens. But just enjoy it.
Yeah, man, that's the best mindset to have, man. Just enjoy it, enjoy the
Yeah,
journey, enjoy the
that's
blessings,
it, man.
right? Enjoy the
That's it,
blessings, man.
inshallah. Yeah,
'Cause,
that's it, man.
at the end of the day, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to compete in one championship, especially where we're from as well.
Yeah,
So
100%.
you
Yeah,
gotta ride the wave, and then inshallah, the future generations they'll look at this and they'll be like, "Yeah, this guy was the one that got me the opportunity to get on here." So
yeah,
you're potentially that guy, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
No,
mean,
inshallah.
talking about that, the British Pakistani MMA scene, or like even the Pakistani scene, what's your thoughts on it now? And when do you think like we'll start seeing like a one championship champion, a Bellator champion, a Brave champion, a UFC champion? Like when do you think we'll start seeing that
In
within
the British
like British,
Pakistani scene
yeah,
or the Pakistani scene,
Pakistani in general? Like
it's coming. I think, like there's a lot of, like, now there's so much talent. There is so much talent. Like there's so many good fighters, and like, yeah, I think now, like in the Pakistani MMA scene, it's going on and up, definitely. Like I feel as if, like, with there's a lot of fighters now that start proving themselves and they start showing, what, we can do it. And there's a lot of quality fighters, and now you start seeing it. In Brave, then you've got one championship. I think UFC at the moment, there's no Pakistani fighters, obviously, but um, like I says, we're at that stage where we're on up, and I can see in a few years' time, I think, in the UFC as well, someone will be there, and it's definitely on the rise, 100%. Pakistani scene is definitely on the rise. I think, a lot of people, especially, like, for example, even in one championship now, I think Pakistan's going to get recognized. There's a lot of fighters coming through, and then also with Brave as well. I've seen, there's a lot of fighters coming through there. So, the Pakistani MMA scene's on a up. It's on a up, 100%.
yeah, I mean guys like Shoaib, Faisal,
Yeah,
Malik, Alumi Kareem, like we got loads of like
yeah,
guys
yeah. Good
that
fighters, yeah, yeah. And Alumi, I've seen him, like, I remember when I was just kind of like getting into I was having a few MMA fights, and probably my second or third year, something like that. I remember watching Lumi, and I think he won a title that time, and I was like, wow. And obviously, I think Ahmed Mustafa was kind of the same as well. So, Lumi's old school, man, and like I says, he's a good fighter. Like I've spoken to Lumi a few times, and I always say to him, I said, you know what, because he's been out for a while as well. I said, bro, don't, I mean, this opportunity, don't let it go. I says, get back into it. And I'll actually be messaging him this because he's a good fighter. And I actually, like I said, he's had a bit of breaks. And sometimes I get a bit worried that he's not going down the road that I went on, where we just kind of like gave up and stuff, and, just didn't really focus. And I've messaged him a few times and I said, look, bro, you've got so much potential. You were one of the MMA guys in Pakistan, repping, you were actually repping Pakistan, you were actually making a name, I remember. And I said, go for it. And I can't wait, man. I'm excited to see him fight. I'm really excited because, he's a good fighter. He is a good fighter.
fighting in like 2 weeks, I think. So must Eid or
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. And like I said, there's so many fighters. There's so many. Like I says, Ahmed now, mashallah, he's done brilliant. Like I says, he's got himself there. Then you've got Shoaib Youssef, you've got Mimosh, you've got Faisal Malik.
he signed with
Uh,
Calgary as well. So
yeah,
he's
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
like again, guys. I mean, they're all just coming out, like popping
yeah.
out.
There's loads of fighters coming in, and it's good. It's really good to see that. And like I says, man, I think there's a good future ahead of us. I think there's going to be some good wins, and some. It's going to put us on the map now, definitely.
Yeah, I think hopefully, man, UFC, man. But I'm thinking maybe 5 to 10 years we'll probably see that if I'm gonna be.
I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe my prediction is probably, if anything's possible, I think maybe 3, 4 years. I don't think it's going to be that far off. I think, yeah, yeah.
The
Because
only thing
honestly,
is, the
there's
wrestling.
a couple of fighters I've got in my head right now that I think can hit UFC. So I think, there's going to be some
Want to
good.
share them?
But again, you know,
I mean, what is,
Yeah, of course. Like I said, like look, there's another fighter that I've always said it from day one. I think Shoaib Yusuf's gonna be someone that's gonna, hit. For me, in the Pakistani MMA scene, I think Shoaib Yusuf is number one. I really do. Honestly, I think he is someone that's gonna really shine. I think he's gone through some hard fights, some
very
very
tough.
hard fights,
The last fight
very
he
tough
had,
fights.
the last fight he
Yeah,
had, that guy trains with Hamza Chimaev and these guys, and
yeah.
he's a karate world champion or wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. And I bet Shoaib's sick of me always complimenting him all the time. But you know what, bro? Honestly, like I'm a fan. I really, really, enjoy his style. He's a good fighter, and I think all round he's a top fighter. So for me, in the MMA scene, in Pakistani MMA scene, definitely like he's number one. Definitely, I think he's number one. And then there's other guys that are coming underneath that are kind of like working towards that direction. And like I said, there's some good qualities, some good fighters. Even there's a fighter that again he don't get announced much, and like I says, he's there. He's from Gujar Khan, Rizwan Ali.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know
yeah,
if you ever heard of him.
fighting soon.
Trust me, I like. Yeah, he's a good fighter. I can see him having a good future as well. Like he's coming up as well, and there's some really good fighters, and it's exciting to see.
I've seen Rizwan Ali from Gujarat.
Yeah,
He's fighting on Flugger series. Yeah,
that's my neck of woods as well in Pakistan. So
yeah,
we have to represent Gujar Khan. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, man, yeah, yeah,
I mean, yeah, him and then we've got like a lot of talent. Talking about
yeah,
that, you was talking about the MMA scene. Let's talk about the boxing scene. So
yeah,
over the weekend, Amar Akbar won professional
yeah.
debut, Frank One Promotions, BT Sport. I mean, he had a good fight considering the
Yeah.
amount of pressure he had. Your pro debut and you're on BT Sport. I mean, that's a bit crazy, man. I couldn't like imagine.
Amazing. Yeah, you know what? Like Amal is really, really skillful, and you know what? Inshallah, he's gonna do really, really well. And like with Uncle Z, he who's Amal's father, he gives a lot of time, and since day one, he's been given a lot of time, and it's really good to see that. Like it's fantastic to see because, like I said, the family, we're all the same family, and it's really nice to see that Amal's there, putting our local town on the map, but also representing and. Honestly, you're gonna see some good things coming from Amar. He's tall, he's rangy, he's fast, and he's got a great attitude. He's very humble, and inshallah, I can see a lot of things coming from him. And like I said, it was a big stage you were on, big stage, and he conducted himself really well. So yeah, man, excited to see Amar's future, and I'm looking forward to see him, get to the big stages. Like I says, he's young, he's only 20 years old. And yeah, I'm excited, really, really excited, and we've got good. His Uncle Z is there. He's got good people around him, and inshallah, he stays focused, remains focused, and stay humble, and keep training. And inshallah, he's got a very big, bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, man, I can see him doing big things. British titles, European. I was saying it to him doing.
Yeah, inshallah, definitely.
But yeah, like even the British like Pakistani boxing scene as well. Like we've got
Yeah,
guys from like even my city, Birmingham, Raza Hamza. We've got
yeah.
Hamza Shiraz, Amar Akbar, like loads of these kind of guys that are just making waves now there as well in the boxing scene. So
100%. Like I says, everything's on a up, and especially even in with the Pakistani MMA boxing scene, everything's going on and up. So I'm excited to see, like, inshallah, like in how it's gonna look in another 10 years' time, how developed and how what stage the Pakistani MMA and boxing scene. Like I said, I think the boxing's hitting its mark. I think there's so many good fighters, like you mentioned, Hamza Shiraz. He's really up there. And I can see him going onto the world stage. So there's a lot of good fighters. But then you look at all these other boxers that are coming through, amazing. There's some really, really, really good fighters. So that's exciting. It's really exciting to see, and it's good to see because look, if you go back 10 years or whatever, how many Pakistani boxers were there? How many
I mean,
Pakistani great fighters? Yeah, they were only Amir Khan, but I think Amir Khan kind of brought it for us. I think Amir Khan, by the success that he's done, he's brought it all for us. And but yeah, with Amir Khan, the success that he's brought, like I said, fighting in the Olympics, and then from there going into his professional journey, and then becoming a world champion. But the moment he went into Olympics and the success that he brought, and then he went into his professional journey, immediately after that, I remember seeing so many Asian boxers coming into the scene, and then obviously him becoming a world champion just promoted it so much. So Amir Khan, has, I think he's the main man that's really brought it into the Pakistani boxing scene. And like I said, I can see he's doing a lot of work in Pakistan as well. He's got a gym in Pakistan. He's doing shows in Pakistan. So he's bringing the boxing talent from Pakistan as well. But yeah, everything's on a rise. Everything's on a good direction, and yeah, man, it's good seeing good things to come from the Pakistani background.
Why do you think he gets like so much hate? Like in the sense of like once he loses, if he loses anything, everyone's like, "Oh, Glassjaw, Glassjaw." Like I've heard that all my life. If I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah. You're gonna get it. You know, it's Hamad. Like you can never please anybody. No matter how much good you do and how much bad you do or whatever you do, you're never gonna please anybody. You're always gonna have haters. You're always gonna have criticizers. You're gonna have people that are gonna just bring you down. You're gonna have people that are gonna just be negatively towards you. But a lot of times, these people who do that are the people that have not done it themselves. So it's easy for someone to, be a keyboard warrior and say, "Oh, he's so and so, and he's that, blah blah blah." But that's life, bro. You're gonna get people that are gonna be, always gonna say certain things towards yourself. I'll give you an example. Like over there, I was watching something on YouTube about Danny Garcia, and there was a guy that constantly used to hate on Danny Garcia, saying so many bad comments. So what happened was his brother, so the guy, the hater who were like throwing so many comments to Danny Garcia, his brother set him up, and they did it like a show, like a YouTube, like on the YouTube, like a small little show of what they did. And what happened was they set the brother up with Danny Garcia. Immediately when Danny Garcia came up front of him and says, "Oh yeah, so you were saying so and so about me," you're like, "Oh no, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just," and his attitude changed so quickly, and like he just turned into a different person. Really into a total different person. That hater turned into a lover. But it just shows, what it is. Some people, what it is. They'll just sit on that keyboard. They'll be there, and they'll watch someone, and they'll just hate on that person with them not knowing what goes on in the gym. And that's life. You're gonna get haters, and you're gonna get lovers, and you're gonna get everything. You just have to get on with it and just move on.
Yeah, I think Firaz Zahawi, he spoke about just Troll was saying stuff to GSP, and
Yeah,
GSP was upset and like commenting back and
yeah,
saying stuff back. And then Firaz goes, "This guy is arguably the GOAT of MMA. He's good at everything, and someone still is criticizing him,
criticizing him.
and
Yeah,
he's getting upset about it." So
yeah,
he's like, he used that example because if you think about it, MMA, who's like done everything like that you can possibly do? Joe St. Pierre, right? Two
yeah.
belts, avenged all his losses, and even he's getting criticized. So, fine then, you can get anything you want in this world and still going to get criticized. I
You're still
think.
gonna get criticized. Yeah, and that's how it's gonna be. Unfortunately, it's never gonna change. I do not think that's gonna change. And this is what it's all about being a professional. I think you have to have that professional mindset. You're gonna get haters, you're gonna get criticized, you're gonna get people that are just gonna say things to you. But you just get on with it, bro. That's how it is. You have to just get on with it. You can't. If you let that get to you, then what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point you continuing? If you let the hate and everything get onto you. The way I look at it is enjoy your journey, have fun, enjoy it, be happy. As long as you're living and as long as everything's going all okay, just go on and just keep going strong and just be happy. I think we're always going to have criticizers, we're always going to have haters there, and that's life. Unfortunately, that's how it's going to be. Just be positive, just be happy, and just get on with it.
Yeah, because yeah, exactly, man. Just a
How do you think I got loads of criticism when I lost against
yeah.
Rahul? You will see my inbox. You'll be like, I swear that you'll be crying. I got so much hate, man. I got so many messages, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes it did get to me. Sometimes I would have been like, it did get to me, and there was some, like people that even close people, towards, like, who used to say things to me like, "Oh, oh, why do you do this? Why do you not do that? Blah blah blah. But no one knows, man. No one knows, how it feels, and like
I mean,
the whole situation of you not being prepared. It's a different kind of ball game, and like I says, it is what it is. You just look back. Like now, I look back, and in a way, I'm happy that I lost that fight. Why? Because I've learned a lot from it. It's turned me into a different person. Where if I won that fight, or even if I got a bit of luck and somehow just say, for example, I did something spectacular and I got the win, would I have learned from that fight? I don't think I would have. I kind of would have trained the same or could have had that same attitude, and then I probably would have got hurt seriously on the next fight. So now I've learned a lot from there, and I've conducted myself in a way where I put everything into training, and I know now if I go to a fight, I won't look back and say I'm not prepared. And even if I get last minute fights and I get some last minute fights thrown at me, I am gonna take them. I'll be honest with you, bro. If I can, I'll take them. But I'm gonna take them because I'm gonna stay active all the time. I'm always gonna keep training. I'm always gonna be in the gym, even if I don't have any fights lined up. I'm still gonna keep learning. So I've got a different attitude where before I'll have break until I get a fight, then I'll fight 6 weeks. There you go, have a break, and that's the kind of attitude I had. So things have changed.
yeah, man, it's good to see that thing, and hopefully, we'll see you compete soon, man. Before we end the interview, I want to ask you a few like questions because quite well.
You and your questions, man.
We're
Man,
gonna
how long
ask
we be? Yeah, yeah, let's go for it, man.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
So favorite Pakistani sportsman,
Favorite Pakistani sportsman.
any sport. It doesn't need to be someone when you're young. You're probably like, yeah, this.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. There's one guy that I've started becoming a fan of, and he's involved in the sports game, and I just love his passion. Daniel Mirza. He's on the mic.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Now, he's been doing a lot of commentary and he's been doing a lot of things involved. I know he's not sports, but well, he is involved in the sports game. But he's been doing a lot of commentary and he's been doing a lot of work in Pakistan. And I've just been watching him, and like he's someone that I've started admiring a lot because he puts a lot of effort towards, he's getting known in Pakistan. Like there's a lot of people that started following him in Pakistan, and he's getting asked to come to shows and he's getting involved, and he's got a lot of energy behind him, and I really, really like. Yeah, I've started becoming a fan of his, to be honest with you, because I really love the energy that he has. And then again, he was a sports person, but now he's a manager. We've got Rizwan, who's my manager. He's someone that I'm a big fan of. So I know I've picked two people, but obviously two different kind of people and involved in like a different kind of like role. But I know they're not sports person, but they're involved in the sports game, and they're two people that I've started really I have a lot of respect for. Like with my manager is one, if it wasn't for him, I won't be in the situation that I'm in now. He's opened doors for me. He's given me opportunities, and like I says, I know sometimes I can do his head in at times because I'm always messaging him saying, "Come on, this one, get a fight sorted for me. I'm ready to go, man. Call him, call him." But he gives me, a lot of time. He's always trying his best, and he gives me a lot of good advice. And he's someone that I've got a lot of respect for because if it wasn't for him, I don't think, I definitely would have not been on this stage. But also, I don't even think, I would have been fighting. So yeah, big respect to this one.
That's an interesting, analysis for favorite Pakistani sportsman. But yeah, uh,
Yeah.
interesting, man. Yeah, man. Maybe we
Yeah,
need.
like I said, there's so many. You know what it is with sports person? Like, there's so many like sports person now up and coming. But if you had to ask me who was my favorite like sports person, then I would have gone for Imran Khan.
Okay, yeah.
And obviously he's the Prime Minister of Pakistan. But again, as a cricketer, but as a whole, as a person, I just like the way he is as a sports person. He was, and he is like one of my favorite sports person. But in the sports game, yeah,
Maybe we need to
they're the
do
two
a
that I mentioned.
MMA diagnosis and on the mic episode maybe one day, inshallah. So
Yeah,
that'd be
inshallah.
quite interesting as well. Yeah, Rizwan, top manager, man, top guy. I mean, the passion he has is just, through
Yeah.
the I see as well. Next one is England versus the Pakistan cricket team. So who would you play for?
I'll play for the team that selects me. Because like I said, I'm born in England and my background is Pakistani. So whoever thinks I deserve to be selected. I'll play for them. I hope you like that answer there.
What is
Yeah, no, no.
uh, all right, and I'm gonna ask you a prediction for obviously a few fights. Uh,
Okay.
so we got a few upcoming fights. So next week we got Israel Adesanya versus Han Blachowicz. So middleweight champion versus light heavyweight champion.
It's a tough one, that, because just of obviously the weight difference, but I don't know. I would a little bit edge toward Adesanya, but with I can't pronounce his name, but is it Jan in it? Jan
Blachowicz. Han Blachowicz. So yeah,
Blakovic?
yeah,
Blakovic? Yeah, I'm
Blachowicz.
really bad at.
Polish power, man. That guy
Yeah, I know it's Polish, yeah,
kind
but
of.
you know I just have bad at pronouncing it, but with his journey, like I remember I think he were like losing fights, and then all of a sudden, his journey turned around, and you know what? I would love to see someone like that win, just because like just imagine how much doubts people gave him, how much criticism he took, even he was losing, maybe he was coming close to being released, possibly, and then all of a sudden turned it around and look at the position he's in right now. He's proven everyone wrong, and
Yeah,
that's I
example.
would love to see someone like that become a champion, because to me, that will show that person that's gone through difficult times, gone through hard times, that's gone through.
He is a champion. He's light heavyweight champion.
Yeah, yeah, but like meaning like yeah, no, he's like, no, my
Yeah,
word is wrong.
I
But
get,
like
I
I
get
know
what
he's
you're
a
saying.
lightweight heavy
I get what
champion,
you're saying.
but for him to just because like he's known, obviously he's a
Yeah,
champion, but for him to just do this will be like legacy, and someone like that would deserve it, just because obviously the journey that he's gone through, and he's just turned it around, and look at where the position is, and him being a lightweight heavyweight champion, and now for him to do get this win on Israel will be amazing. I think this will be like the cream of the crop. It'll just be the best. So it will be nice to see someone like that. Just completely complete a legacy, just because it'll be a story to tell. It's someone that were losing fights, someone that were possibly close to being released, someone that were probably taking a lot of criticism, a lot of hate, but he still grinded, he still believed in himself, and he come to a point where he won the championship, and then now he's at a point where he can complete a legacy. I think that'll be amazing. So yeah. I am gonna probably edge a little bit to Israel, because just the way every fight I've seen him and different styles he's been fighting against, like he's adapted to it. Where with obviously the light heavyweight guys, like you know, I feel as if like there's still a one dimension. Um, so yeah, we'll see anyways. But I would love to see obviously the Polish power take
yeah.
this one. It'll be good to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard that story about him? It's a bit crazy. It's a bit scary. Like,
Yeah.
there's a guy that got hanged in a forest that he
Yeah.
knew, and he
Yeah.
goes there and he touches that rope, the actual rope where the guy got
Yeah.
hanged. He touches it before every fight for good luck.
Does he? Wow. Each their own then. That's yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah. Each their own.
uh, Next one, Aljamain Sterling versus Petra Yan.
Jan. Yeah.
Yan.
I know Sterling's a good fight, but yeah, I'm gonna go for Jan. I just think like, do you watch the fight with Aldo when he fought against Aldo?
Yeah,
That fight,
he was losing until he got the body.
yeah,
Aldo got tired. So
yeah. Yeah, so he just turned it around, and for me to see someone go through that, where they were taking, because he was taking a lot of damage,
yeah,
and like for him to overcome that, he caught my eye at that time, and I thought, yeah, he's gonna be someone that's gonna obviously go further, and like I said, yeah, I'm gonna go for Jan. But again, Sterling's a good fighter, but Sterling's strong as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Jan on this one.
Petra Yan. All right. Next one, the big boy, Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou.
Miocic.
Think same
Yeah,
as the first fight.
yeah. I just Ngannou's like, he's a knockout power. He's got everything there. Like one punch, he can, call it a day. But I don't know. I just don't know. I just think Miocic just like he's got it all there, and I think Miocic is just like kind of proving himself. When Ngannou, yeah, I think I need to really see him kind of prove. Like I said, like, yeah, obviously you can go out there and knock people out and stuff like that, but you want to see someone's all-round game, and I think he's still got a lot to prove. And maybe, he might show it in the next fight, but I think for me, for now, to be safe, I think I'll go for Miocic just because he has proven himself as being the champion, and he's overcome a lot of diversity as well.
And the last one is Habib versus GSP.
Khabib, yeah, obviously it's gonna be Khabib. Come on, bro. What kind of questions? I like, would you? Like, I know I love GSP, but yeah, I'm gonna go Khabib all the time, man. You could ask me anybody. It's always gonna be Khabib for me because he's the best, man. He's amazing, and like I says, he's the greatest of all time in my eyes. He's the greatest of all time, and I don't think anyone's gonna take Khabib's. Or I think he's always going to be undefeated. And like I said, I know he's retired now, so yeah. Even if he wasn't retired, I still think he would have dominated everybody. You just look at all these fights, the way he's dominated everybody. Yeah, there's no way. I don't think anyone's gonna touch him.
All right. So Habib, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I'd like to thank you for your time. And is there any
Thank you, brother.
sponsors or anyone you'd like to thank?
Everybody, all my sponsors, I'll go
Long.
through my phone because you've asked me the sponsors, but you know what? We need to always give the sponsors a good shout out at all times, and yeah. So like with me sponsors,
Gonna get your scroll up.
yeah, we're going on it. So we've got with the sponsors, big thank you to Janoon Shisha Bar, who have always been there. Have always supported me from day one. We've got EFW Union, who have always from day one again been supporting me. Natural Remedy, they've always they do my massages, cupping, everything. I know also we've got another team called the Mia Therapy. Big shout out to them. Yeah. We've got Techie Fightwear, I was doing my clothing. I've got 733 Media who will be doing all like my media stuff. He's just going through training at the moment, but soon he's going to start doing all my media stuff. We've got Gym Pro Meals who will be always supplying me food. So when I do fight, they will be doing all my diet plans. Big shout out to a good friend of mine, Asim, and that's the Javida Clinic. He is one sponsor that has been helping me so much. Like even the times where obviously we've had this time where the COVID situation, lockdown situation, he is one sponsor that's been really giving me the full backing. Anything I need, he's been there for me. Anything I ask for, he'll give. So a big shout out to Javida Clinic. He also has a dental clinic based in Manchester, which is called Smile. So yeah, these guys, man, they're brilliant. They give me a lot of support, and big appreciation to them. And same again with all my sponsors. They've all been great. They've all given me a lot of backing, and yeah, inshallah, in the future we get some fights, and hopefully I can make them proud and represent in a good way for them.
And where can people find you on social media?
By contacting MMA Diagnosis and speaking to Mr. Hammad Mia, they can find me. Nah, they can anywhere, bro. Facebook, Instagram. They can contact me through there, find me through there. Again, with yourself, I know you guys are always helping me and supporting me. So MMA Diagnosis, big shout out to you guys. And yeah, you can find me on there.
Hopefully, you get you down Mere Therapy, innit? Come down for Birmingham.
Definitely, man.
That's not,
Definitely. You know what, bro?
that's not, that's not,
Inshallah, when I do come down, Birmingham, definitely gonna use you guys. Like I says, I know you've set up a new business, and inshallah, it's gonna go well for you. Just keep at it, and like I said, same again with this podcast. You're doing a very good job. You're out there. You're interviewing a lot of fighters. You're even bringing boxing into the game. So just keep doing what you're doing, bro. Like I says, I'm a big fan of yours, and you've always been there for me. You're always supporting me. And I know even in the future when I've got fights, you're always going to be supporting me, and I've always got a lot of respect for you. So just keep doing the good work you're doing, and you're going to grow, inshallah, definitely.
thank you for your time, man. Take care, bro.